Tourism. The most immediate and visible way the United States earns from hosting the World Cup is through the sheer number of people who travel here because of it. Oxford Economics projected that the 2026 tournament would bring approximately 1.24 million international visitors to the United States alone, of which around 742,000 are entirely new trips. Those visitors do not arrive, watch a match, and leave. They book flights weeks in advance, they stay for multiple days, they visit other cities, they buy things. FIFA projects that the tournament will generate a $17 billion boost to United States GDP and support approximately 185,000 jobs across host cities and beyond. Hotels. The accommodation industry sits at the center of the World Cup's economic impact more than almost any other sector. About half of all visitor spending during a tournament of this scale goes directly toward places to stay, and hotels in the 11 American host cities prepared aggressively for the surge. Oxford Economics projected hotel room revenue would rise between 7 and 25% across host markets in June and July 2026, with the largest spikes occurring specifically on match days. New York, Dallas, and Miami, all hosting high-profile knockout matches, were expected to see the most dramatic increases. Luxury hotels and full-service properties were positioned to benefit the most, since team delegations, sponsors, broadcasters, and corporate groups don't just need rooms, they need meeting spaces, catering, and facilities. Airbnb hosts across the 16 host cities were projected to collectively earn over $2.6 billion in revenue. Stadiums. One of the defining commercial decisions behind the 2026 World Cup was the use of existing NFL and MLS venues rather than building new stadiums from scratch. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, MetLife Stadium in New York. These are already among the most commercially advanced venues on Earth, seating between 70,000 and 92,000 people per match. The modification costs were real but manageable. AT&T Stadium required a $295 million upgrade that included field widening and a temporary rebrand to Dallas Stadium to meet FIFA's commercial clean site requirements. But the fundamental infrastructure was already there, which made this one of the most capital-efficient World Cups in modern history. World Cup merchandise represents a revenue stream that flows both to FIFA and to the broader retail economy surrounding the tournament. Fanatics holds the exclusive retail rights across the United States, Canada, and Mexico for all 104 matches, operating stadium stores, fan festival outlets, pop-up shops, and e-commerce channels simultaneously. The merchandise economy extends well beyond official channels. Local vendors, restaurants selling themed menus, and businesses decorating their storefronts all participate in a secondary layer of commercial activity that official figures rarely capture, but which adds meaningfully to the overall economic footprint of the event. Broadcasting. While the United States earns from the physical presence of the World Cup, it also captures a significant share of the commercial value generated by the global television audience watching from home. NBCUniversal, which holds domestic Spanish-language rights through Telemundo and Universo, sold out 90% of its advertising inventory before the tournament even began at double the rate of the previous World Cup. Every commercial break during a match in which the United States, Mexico, or another highly watched team is playing generates advertising revenue that flows through American media companies. From the round of 16 onward, matches moved exclusively to the main FOX broadcast network, reaching the widest possible American audience and commanding the highest advertising rates of the tournament. FIFA additionally introduced mandatory 3-minute hydration breaks in every half for all matches, breaks specifically designed to allow commercial inserts, which means broadcasters earn additional advertising revenue at structured intervals that did not previously exist. Food and hospitality. The restaurant and food service industry represents one of the broadest and most evenly distributed economic benefits of the World Cup for American businesses. Deutsche Bank noted that food service companies were well positioned to benefit from both in-person tourism and the watch party culture that develops around major football tournaments, particularly restaurants near stadiums, sports bars showing matches during North American time zones, and delivery-heavy concepts like pizza and wings that see demand spike on match nights. Dallas Dallas alone projected a $1.5 to $2.1 billion economic boost tied largely to hospitality spending during the tournament. Sponsorship. The presence of the World Cup on American soil gave a specific commercial advantage to American brands that chose to participate. Bank of America made history by becoming FIFA's first ever global banking sponsor, with FIFA President Gianni Infantino describing the deal as pioneering, and Bank of America confirming it was the largest sports investment the company had ever made. Verizon signed on as the official telecommunications services sponsor, covering network operations at all 11 American host cities. Frito-Lay ran one of the most expensive advertising campaigns of the entire tournament, built around a fictional group WhatsApp chat featuring Lionel Messi, David Beckham, Thierry Henry, and Steve Carell. For American brands, World Cup sponsorship in a year when the tournament is physically located in the United States is a fundamentally different proposition than sponsoring a tournament held in Qatar or Russia. Infrastructure. Beyond the immediate economic activity of the tournament itself, one of the most durable ways the United States earns from hosting the World Cup is through the lasting upgrades to public and sporting infrastructure triggered by the event. The Cotton Belt multi-use trail in Dallas received $150 million in investment. Transit systems across host cities received expansions and improvements specifically tied to World Cup logistics, improvements that will continue serving residents and visitors long after the final whistle in July. FEMA awarded $625 million in security funding to the 11 American host cities, much of which went toward communication systems, emergency response capacity, and crowd management infrastructure with applications well beyond football. San Antonio, serving as a training hub, invested in soccer field upgrades and hospitality improvements that position the city for future international events and regional tournaments.